An indictment against former President Donald Trump regarding alleged hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels is more likely to be returned by a New York grand jury than when, according to the majority of legal experts. However, it is still unknown how the surrender of the first former American president to be indicted would be handled by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Before we continue, if you are a new subscriber, please activate the notification bell to receive notifications whenever we post. On Wednesday, Business Insider's Laura Italiano mapped out a number of possible outcomes in a report that includes interviews with numerous current and former Manhattan DA prosecutors. With a few notable exceptions, the report stated that Trump would likely be treated similarly to the majority of defendants. The formal charges list would be signed by the jury forepersoned in accordance with New York law, and Trump's indictment would take effect immediately. The foreperson could sign it right away if the grand jury decides to convict. However, the procedure could take several weeks if prosecutors need to make changes to the document after the jury returns indictments on some of the charges but does not indict on others. Before the documents could be released to the public, a judge would need to break the seal. Bragg will likely release PDF copies to the press and post them on the district attorney's website, is what Business Insider says when that happens. After that, worldwide Twitter feeds will be dominated by the historic document. Until prosecutors contacted his lawyers and agreed on a date for his surrender to authorities, the former president would not be informed of an indictment. Trump would not be aware of the sealed charges until they have been deciphered. However, the news outlet was informed by Manhattan defense attorney Ron Kuby that word will likely spread quickly once the surrender date is agreed upon. Half of the DA's office and their spouses will be informed once they set a surrender date. All of Trumpville will be aware, Kuby stated. Between the two of them, it will be out in 2 hours. The previous president would then give up to the ATA concurred together upon time at the DA's Lower Manhattan Central Command and be arrested by NYPD officials, who might then capture him and transport him to the 7th or 10th floor for booking. After that, a mugshot, a DNA sample, and Trump's fingerprints would be taken and put into a database. Nevertheless, Bragg may decide against arresting Trump. The court could issue him a criminal summons, according to a former prosecutor who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not permitted to discuss the case, would require Trump to appear for arraignment. Trump would not necessarily be required to appear in court if the proceedings were to be held virtually. A perp walk is not likely in this case, claims former Special Agent Bill Pickle. That walk is not going to take place, Pickle stated. You won't let him interact with people who could hurt him. He would appear in court, and he would either be printed before or after that. Without sleeves. Trump won't be seen in handcuffs, if only for the reason that optics would likely be a factor. The fact that 20% of Americans adore the man is what I'm referring to. Kuby stated, they are, admittedly, fascist psychos. Still, why contribute to a negative perception? Trump would probably remain free without bail under the recently passed bail laws in New York, which require defendants to be held on bail if the judge believes they pose a flight risk. During a meeting in December 2020 at Truist Park, where the Atlanta Braves play, former U.S. Senator David Perdue, who hails from Georgia and is a steadfast ally of Trump, also requested that a special session be called. Attended were Perdue, Governor Brian Kemp, and former Senator Kelly Loeffler, the other U.S. senator from the state at the time, as well as their aides. CNN inquired for Perdue's response, but Perdue did not immediately respond. In addition, late in 2020, Trump put pressure on Kemp to call a special session to overturn Biden's victory and order an audit of mail-in ballots. Kemp dismissed Trump's solicitation for an exceptional meeting and said that he didn't have the ability to arrange a different review of early polling forms. There is likewise a recording of Trump's call to a top examiner with the Georgia Secretary of State's office in December 2020 while they were investigating claims of inconsistencies with signature matching in Cobb District in the Atlanta metropolitan region. In that phone call, Trump told the investigator that she would be praised for overturning results that were in favor of Biden and urged her to look for fraud in 2020.